There is magic in your feminine energy. There is unexpressed light, healing, embodiment, and powerful fruition of your dreams available to you within your magnetic feminine. Hi everyone, my name is Becca Sahasrara and welcome to this video. Today we are speaking about feminine leadership, feminine energy, and feminine truth. If you are a woman, you have something very potent and powerful inside of you. You have a feminine essence. Your feminine essence is truly valuable. Now, you may have heard this being passed around in these communities of it's valuable, protect your energy, etc. What do we mean when we say that feminine energy or being a woman is a gift, it is valuable? We mean that the feminine by its nature has healing qualities and energy within it. You contain healing medicine inside of you. You also contain the capacity for great magic, for womb magic, for alignment with the stars. You are a living embodiment of the portal of the goddess. When you truly recognize this, it is only then that you are acting in reverence and respect of your holy embodiment and your value and worth as a being, as a person. A lot of women, we do not fully grasp this concept because we have been in a deep state of forgetting. We have not been living in our full remembrance of who we truly are and what you truly are. I recently have gone through a series of awakenings that have led to me personally fully embodying this energy, and I'm here today to share that with you. We are not taught this. We are not taught what it means to protect your energy. We are not taught why we should. We are taught sort of vague concepts of like protect your energy from bad men and learn how to become your feminine, like magnetism. What does that mean? How can we live that? And how can we truly encapsulate that in our life and walk the path of priestess? If you are a feminine woman who is evolving, who is coming into conscious leadership of yourself, you are a priestess. A priestess is somebody who is in alignment with God. She lives by her force and her nature, which is to live in harmony with the priestess within or the goddess within. The relationship and the primary relationship that a priestess has is with God. When you have that connection, you will have reverence for yourself and you will treat yourself as a temple. This is what you are. Again, talking about the what and the mechanics of what it is to be a feminine embodiment. You are the temple of the womb space, of the portal space here. A temple is a place of deep magic. It is a place of consecrated energy and space, consecrated space. It is blessed. You are meant to utilize yourself and utilize your feminine force in a way that juxtaposes your conditioning, that transmutes your conditioning and aligns you with the stars. When you align with the stars, you align with the earth, you become a full portal, you become unleashed in this nature. Women, again, we are not taught this. We are not taught what is necessary or what necessitates to like become open in those channels. You have a series of channels and there are some that are shared with men and some that are completely unique to the feminine energetic build that must be awakened for you to become in your primary force or the feminine force. So, that is our intro today. Today I want to talk to you about the journey that it takes to understand those concepts and to get into them in your daily life, to actually become them and live them. So, you guys haven't seen me for a while on YouTube, okay? And that's for a number of reasons. And the primary reason is about maybe like 10 months ago, I kicked myself into a really intense awakening. Has anyone ever done this, right? Where you're like, I am gonna like do all the affirmations and I'm gonna do all the visualizations and I'm gonna become a bajillionaire and I'm gonna make all my dreams come true. And you get on like the manifestation train and you're really focused on that. That is what I did with my biggest, highest dreams. One of my biggest, highest dreams was to create a literal temple, like a physical temple. I do have an online membership if you're interested in this, that is Temple Online for international, but I also wanted to create one in my local community. Oh my goodness, I did not realize the force of what I would be reckoning with when I initiated myself into that. Okay, so in order to become a person that's capable of doing that, right? It's one thing to have the goal inside of yourself. It is another thing to actually live it and embody it and become the person that is capable of living out your manifestations. That's the transition that's happening when you start a manifestation journey. It's not about the outside, it's becoming that woman. Okay, so I was like, la la la, I'm going to be priestess of this temple and it's going to be amazing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so all of my shadows, the biggest things, all of my fears, all of the survival stuff, all of the freaking psychic attacks, which I had not been one to often be psychically attacked. I keep myself in a high vibration. However, when you come into leadership, when you come into your full soul purpose, you may find that lower energies or people or both, they are more drawn to you because you are stepping into a force of light that they do not wish upon the world because it doesn't serve them. Okay, so that is what happened to me. I also got really sick. I had like different losses of relationships, and I came into a really big, basically, purification. So this is what happens again. If you call in really high vibrational manifestations, anything that is in the way is going to be cleared out. And if you want to be in your feminine power and embodiment, you're going to go through a series of purifications, because the reason you're not in that right now is because you haven't cleared those things. So I went through a lot in my personal life, in my personal journey. I had to basically rebuild all of the foundations of my internal world and my external world. All my relationships shifted. I moved house. Like, there were also natural disasters happening in my world. It's just been crazy, and the amount of visions that I was getting and kind of having to go back into past lives and clear things was really, at times, for me being a very psychic person, it was a little bit destabilizing and overwhelming. So I'm looking at my notes here. So what I ended up in after all of that, clearing all of that and becoming my fully empowered self through those initiations, the only way, by the way, the only way to become the level that I am at now, that I need to be, that person I need to be at those high manifestations, it is to go through the clearing and the purification. There's no way around your alchemy. So at the end of it, I had some big lessons in recognizing how precious my feminine energy is. Okay, so things like dating the wrong person for you. Okay, people say, let's be careful with our energy. Let's the feminine and protecting ourselves as women in general. Oh my goodness, if you are dating the wrong person and you're going down the wrong path, you are going to be deeply affected. Your life is going to be deeply affected, and you will see the shift the minute that you break up with them. I've had this in long ago past relationships and more recent things as well, that as soon as I disconnected from that person, all of my abundance of energy and life force and magnetism came back. And it was because, in part, some unhealthy men are going to be draining your energy. And this is something that if you want to be in your feminine power, you have to really think about it. We have to really think about this. I had heard it myself. I had heard people being like, yeah, protect your energy. Women's energy is valuable. And I was like, yeah, generally speaking, of course. Okay, there's a next level where you really recognize that men unconsciously, men who are unwell, they are going to see the value that you have as a magnetic, powerful woman, and they are going to want that. So I sort of, in part of this journey, I was like, okay, I'm going to come into my full feminine power. So all my work and my affirmations were, a lot of them were around my romantic life, around my energy. It was like, I'm so magnetic, I'm so beautiful, I'm so desirable, like everyone's obsessed with me, like whatever positive affirmations or energies you want in your life. Okay, so I ended up getting, for this is one example, right, for you guys. I had multiple men that were, I would say, idealizing, projecting onto, and in that way obsessed with me. And in the beginning, I took it for that's fine or that's love, right? That's my past injuries at play. What I didn't realize until they had left my life was the impact that that was having on my life. Okay, so when you are in your full feminine magnetism and you're affirming things like this, or you're embodying that, you are going to get the full range of men until you clear certain woundings that are attracting not great men coming into your experience. So the people that were giving me the love were not the people that I wanted to be giving me the love, because I hadn't cleared the underneath deeper aspects of things around worthiness, things around deserving, things around, choosing a partner that is in their full power and equal or better is where a woman should be dating. And I had still had nice girl programming, I would say, going on. And so I had, one person was almost stalkery obsessed with me. Another one was an ex-partner that was having trouble letting me go. And, there were these aspects of me and parts of me that are playing into that from our childhood wounding, as I say, around worthiness and things like that, and like father wounding and all these complex things. But the message that I'm here to share about that is not so much that stuff, but is like, okay, like when you are in your feminine power, you need to be on the watch for men who are going to be draining your energy or feeding on your energy. What happens when you do your feminine work and you come into your feminine empowerment? You become much more magnetic. Those healing and magical qualities that I described become a lot stronger and more powerful. But the thing about those is that they are between you and God. They are for you, God, and your service in this world. They are not for other people. The only person that should have access to those gifts is someone who is equal or better than you in terms of a masculine partner or a partner. And they have to be worthy of that, and they have to have earned that. And you have to see yourself as a holy temple. You are a holy temple, and you deserve to be fully devoted to before you give access, any kind of access, not just sexual access, just like interaction with people of that nature, a partner or a potential partner. And a lot of women, we open ourselves up to the dating game because we're like, okay, like I need to, play the girlfriend role and I need to do that and all of that. But especially as I've gotten older, I see the value in not doing that, in actually saying, okay, if you are a holy temple, why would you let people have a trial run of the experience that you are, the girlfriend experience, as some teachers call it? And I used to think that that was a bit extreme, but it is true. If you are the feminine and you have all these magnetic qualities and these different magics, basically the stronger my magic became, the more I saw how much it had to be protected. Also, the more that I valued it inside myself. And so now the only person that would be allowed access to that is someone who is basically my husband at that point. Someone who is devoted to the temple, who is cherishing the temple and all of that. So that's one aspect, okay? And I had people being obsessed with me. I had a lot more like admirers coming in, but it's not always the best energy. It's not people who are seeing you in that same way. And that's why it has to be someone who is a priest in himself, who is on the journey in himself and can see that value. You also have to clear your woundings about things around respect and your worth and what you're worthy of, and also receiving. The feminine has to become a receiver, and many women are blocked in the receiving capacities in terms of like, I deserve a certain level but not that much. And basically I saw all of my shadows and all the other people's shadows coming out, and it was just like a whirlwind. And you know, I've heard this thing of people saying like men, again, we love men, but some unwell men, they see women as an accessory. It does give them status. And I've had this play out again of people that I thought were my friends, you know, and I used to think that it was possible for women and men to just be friends, right? But for as far as I still kind of want to believe that, but as far as what I can see from my experience, the more magnetic and healed my feminine energy became, and the healing quality, the magical, alchemical quality of it, the more that any man that I was trying to be friends with would just have attraction. There would just be the attraction quality there, because by nature, the feminine is a beautiful flower that is like has her perfume. You know, think of a flower. I always equate the feminine in her power to a flower, right? So she's open, she's receiving the sun and light, her sexual organs, which is those aspects of a flower, and her beautiful petals, her beauty is shining, her sexual energy, the metaphor of the organs, is shining out, and she is free in that way, and she feels good in that way, and she produces her nectar in that way. And then the bees come, and the bees come. And if you're a flower like this, you need to have strategies around, like, let's say your leaf system or some other better metaphor about how you're going to cope with all of the bees coming at you and how you're going to filter them, okay? You don't want to give all your nectar to all of them. So that is something that we need to think about as women on this process path. The other part, okay, is, and one of the key things here is the feminine truth. So as a woman, you have, as I say, healing qualities, magical qualities, beauty qualities. You're a gift to this world. You are the womb portal, okay? And you also have the psychic intuitive capacities that is, just by its nature and just by your build, greater than men. That doesn't mean there can't be male truth speakers and psychic intuitive men. There definitely are in this world. But they usually have to do more training to reach a level that's sort of almost more natural to us. We have a bit of a head start in it. And we are a really clear portal for that. So when you come more into your feminine power, what's also going to happen is your re-ownership of your voice, aka your truth. So your authenticity, your authentic truth around every area of your life, your relationships, your needs, desires, boundaries, your personal like goals and desires in your world, your heart's desires, your heart's purpose, and just being able to see truth and to speak truth freely, absolutely freely. And when you do that, again, this is a power that you have. So then other people, what I have noticed in this crazy journey, other people's entities, and so their triggered trauma or the entities living in their field are both usually meshed together, they come at you and they are going to say, hey, that's pushing against my delusions that I would like to keep. So I'm going to get mad at you and I'm going to persecute you and try to oppress you. So the feminine has been persecuted and oppressed because of these abilities, okay? As a feminine woman, just by coming into your own personal truth and doing your personal work, just like on your journey, you're going to start to attract people that are reflecting to you those false voices that you're clearing out of yourself and you're clearing out of your conditioning. And it's basically going to continue the stronger that you get, because it's not just your personal trauma that you're going to be transmuting. And especially if you are someone like me who is in the world, out in the world, you're out there, you're seen, and you're using your voice, you're basically clearing collective trauma and stuff as well by holding that pole of truth. So the collective stuff is going to come at you too. And that's what I found as well. And it's just been crazy, you guys. Like, just when you become aware of that and you become aware of the power that you're having against people's entities and conditionings, wow, you have to really hold firm in yourself. And this leads into the next point in a way, which is about the capacity and ability for you to develop your holy masculine to protect you and keep you safe and grounded and stable. All of those I just listed are frequencies of the divine masculine. When women come into their feminine, but their masculine is not integrated, they come into all this magic, but they may not have pure stability supporting them. This is where we hear stories of, especially in past lives and things, but it still happens now, of seers and magical women going crazy, right? In our day and age, it's, can look like episodes of psychosis or, some aspects of schizophrenia, though that's more complicated. These sorts of episodes are really a spiritual episode that's happening because the stability within is not fully founded. So your masculine energy, it has to be integrated, which means you have to do the work to heal your relationship with the masculine. It usually starts there. This is how we use our external relationships with the masculine as a mirror portal, which is mirror portaling into your own relationship with your inner masculine. Because the minute that you rejected the masculine, or the masculine became unsafe to you, you also rejected your masculine ability inside of yourself. You rejected that part of you, and now it's not active, or you've suppressed it down, right? And then you want to open and become super magnetic and super psychic and all of these things. And the world is going to see that, as I said. You need to have an integrated masculine. And for me, over those, as I said, like 8-10 months, but really I would say at least the last 12 months, I've been healing and integrating my masculine energy. And something, for example, that I really needed that for was when I started my speaker training to be a speaker on stage. Because it involved a new level of vulnerability, right? To be seen, to activate the voice even more and things like that. The major theme for me was, how can I feel safe in this kind of magnetic position that you're in on stage, where you're exposed. And what I had to do was over and over and over go through different triggers and things to integrate and alchemize my masculine energy. And I had a wonderful masculine speaker trainer, and I believe that, my speaker trainer happened to be masculine because I needed that help. And he provided that help the whole journey, and it's been amazing. And even my relationship with him, as I say, my relationship with lots of other people, those masculine woundings had to heal. And I've gone through so many series of awakenings with healing my heart as well. So the other aspect of the feminine energy and potency is her ability, and like greater ability to love, how richly, deeply she can hold that, not just mother love, but the mother love kind of also is what we call unconditional love. Women have such an amazing capacity to love so completely. Their love is complete when it's fully accessed, and it is unconditional love. As you know, that's a healing energy as well. And so I had a series of awakenings happening with a male friend, where when we interacted, from the minute we interacted, my energy field was just like basically losing its shit. Oh my goodness, I went through such a journey, and I can't share all of that because some of that is private, but you can read that on my blog. I have written a lot about that journey in the Path of Alchemy blog, Substack, which I'll link below. But basically I had a heart opening and awakening with him, and all of my grief stored from the losses and betrayals that have happened with the masculine in the past came pouring out, and I got sucked into like 4 different lifetimes. Like for me as a psychic and a seer, really fully sucked into, to the point where I was like, I'm not crazy. Like I had to find that stability energy because my worlds were overlapping. That's how strong this connection and integration was for me. And there were lots of other sort of qualities in that. But one of the things was finding out how much unconditional love I was truly capable of. And by healing my relationship with the masculine and the way that I had kept that and withheld that love from the masculine, I had closed off my heart, and not just the masculine, but the world, but mainly through injury with the masculine. I had to open my heart again. And when I did that, I became able to love myself more fully and bring that unconditional love into myself. And again, this ability of a depth of love that is different than the quality and depth of the masculine. that depth of love is pouring and running through my system. So now there is more draw to that as well. So we have to protect our energy. And one of the biggest things, as I say, that we're sort of talking about the magic, and I want to talk about those capacities, right? You understand them now. But the side effect of that is having to actually protect your energy. And protecting your energy means you have to integrate your masculine. You have to find ways and healing of, I'm going to develop my frequencies of stability, of safety, of protection, of taking care of myself, of providership for yourself, not externalizing it. Only then, also ladies, will you then manifest somebody who's able to provide that for you and reflect it, mirror it to you in a really healthy way. A lot of women are looking for a provider and someone who's going to protect them and things, but sometimes a lot of that is mixed in with, and it's messy in with shadows related to a little girl that needed to be rescued, or had a bad relationship with your father, or there was betrayal or a lack of protection. And I went through all of that, so no judgment at all. And I had to purify all of these things. And by doing that, I integrated the Holy Father energy inside of me. And then what happened, which was amazing, was then more of the Holy Mother energy could come in me. So when you are on this journey of basically feminine ascension, there is a consistent, this is the other thing I want to talk about, there is a consistent phasing that goes on through it that I've seen in all of my feminine clients and friends and myself. Okay, and that is usually something like we heal the feminine, then we have to integrate the masculine, and then we can become more feminine. And you're gonna, your whole life is a healing journey. You're gonna oscillate in these phases. But if you're doing the work quite intensely and your pathways are opening up and your nectar pathways and these unique Venus pathways inside of you are opening, this is what's going to be moving through you. And that's what I teach in my mentorships, by the way, everybody, is the phases. We go through the phases and I support you in each of those phases. And I can tell you that a mentorship is going to absolutely accelerate your path and help you come into leadership in a way that is just so much more easeful and graceful and you're worthy of. So if you want to be supported in your journey, please reach out to me. I have, I think, literally one spot maybe left for Priestess Power Mentorship, or the Priestess Portal, which are my amazing mentorships for women who want to come into all of this. If this is sounding good to you, reach out, because it's going to change your life. So going through these phases, okay, you have to have all of these different aspects coming together. And in your life journey, it can be really challenging. And the main next thing we're talking about here is the psychic protection. So when you come into these capacities, you're going to have those reactions from people outside of you. You're also going to have to protect yourself on the etheric level as well. Again, that's something I teach in Priestess Power. It is about psychic development, which of course always includes psychic protection, as well as activating your voice and activating your feminine leadership. That's what that is about, and your magnetism. And developing your psychic protection is really, really important. So I used to be someone who was a little bit more relaxed with this, and I would be like, okay, like, as long as I stay in love, which is true, right? Which is true. But when you start to get your next level power, like fucking next level of my feminine force, I'm sure you guys can feel it, and I can feel it running through my body now. I'm like, this activated a need for a new higher level of protection. The more you are you in this world, the more healed you are, the more powerful you are, and also the more seen you are in the world, you have to protect yourself more. It was my experience that when I started, for example, developing the temple school that I'm building, I had psychic attacks come into like my house and into my field like repeatedly. Like it was so difficult. And also a lot of my deepest traumas around psychic fears and traumas that had happened on a psychic level came up as well. And that was really, really difficult, and to the point where I have had to, previously in the past month or so, a month or two, I paused my temple so that I could stabilize myself. And this is what entities do to priestesses and priests who are coming to the world and saying, this will change, we will change the fucking world. And then if you fucking do it, you have to actually protect yourself. So I learned a lot more about psychic protection that I'm teaching in my mentorships, again, in Priestess Power, for women who want to be in that full power, but you also want to feel sensations of safety, and you want to feel like you can hold yourself. Like right now, it's in this video, this is fucking powerful information, but I also can feel and know that there is, because I called it in, and also partially because it's natural to me now, there is a field of womb energy, what I would call the womb quality or energy, that is around this video, just like there was last one as well, which, as I spoke in that last one, just little quick history there. So when the women, we would gather and we would go into caves and we would do feminine magic, you could create a separate dimension, and the way that you could do that was by activating womb energy and doing womb magic through that. And essentially you create a womb as a portal. So you create a kind of like bubble world, like a portal that you're in. And this is one of those right now. I can feel it. And I've definitely also, it gets really magical and cool in the mentorships that I run or classes that we do as well. If there's multiple women, or when just me and the client, you can feel it like kind of swooping around us and containing us. And it almost feels like the cone of silence. Like if you've seen that in movies, it's like nothing else can get in here. Nothing else can get in here. And it's kind of saved and downloaded into you and me and those of us watching this, but nothing else can get in here. This is just natural at a certain point when you have done enough healing of your debris. Healing your feminine is really about clearing the debris and then allowing the feminine to flow. When you've healed that, now your womb can be more active and it can do what it naturally does. And one of those things is creating womb protection for you. So let's talk about the feminine truth, and let's talk about what makes that so special. So because you are a portal to the God force, because you are connected to that, again, when women have, this tends to come through in the phases when you've healed at least some of your masculine, and you've healed your Holy Father energy, you start to develop a relationship with God or the God force. Not that God is masculine, it is an energy, but there's something to the Holy Father, and then you are the feminine aspect, right? If you're doing magic or channeling work, that's what you're doing. And the priestesses in temples like eons ago, they would be receiving the God force. So it's because of the polarity, right? You're in your feminine so that you can be a receiver and a channel for higher essences in light. And the God force energy would come in and it would work within your womb space to potentially receive essences that you could then kind of almost energetically grow in your womb, and then it would vibrate into the world or into your own field in your body, or could be used for healing. Certain like secretions and nectars come out of the yoni pathway that can be applied and done in like sex magic with yourself, with like sisters. It could be potentially like bottled, like it could be whatever you're doing. And the reason that feminine truth has been so oppressed is because you have this direct line to God. You are so, so, so powerful, okay? We have been hidden away and suppressed from our ability to see as well. So these pathways, I won't go into every detail, but they're all connected and they all need to be cleared for everything to kind of come online and be cleared and awakened. So your seer pathway, the feminine, we used to have a protruding, literally a protruding third eye here, like a mega eye, like a big eye that would sit here. And that is actually what's then retreated back into the pineal space. And if you look at the pineal gland today, it's like an archaic eye. And it's still active if you've done the healing work, but it's more multidimensional and etheric. And that has to do with a lot of different things. That has to do with like the density of the earth shifting into the age we're in now, where it's more applicable to have an inner eye in here because we're more third dimensional, versus the density then where you had it out here because there was more tangible magic because everything wasn't as dense. So we have this like amazing capacity, and priestesses, especially when the priestess and lines who had this, when it started to die out, women would be known to be a priestess because they were born with the third eye still protruding, and you'd go, okay, that little girl is meant to be a priestess, and she would be trained in the priestess schools. And no one was better than the other. It was just about like, what are we going to train this child's amazing, unique, beautiful beings job to do in this community, and what's their spiritual work that they're here to do, and place them as such. And yeah, so what I'm saying with that is that it's like, I'm trying to give words to like how strong the capacity to see and know truth is in a woman. It is so strong. When women are aligned to that power and we have that power, we are in our full force, what I would call, and spirits train me to understand, as full feminine force. So that includes womb activation. When these things are all working, you're embodying the full feminine force, which my guides told me it has not been seen in this world, embodied in this life, since pretty much the days of Mary Magdalene and the Egyptian times, which was the last of the very, very magical temple ritual culture that was alive. So what's being anchored into Mother Earth as well right now is a replenishment, a rebirth of the feminine force energy, which is, again, just means that everything is fully online, and the true force and power and essence and embodiment of the feminine is like alive in women today. And when a woman is aligned like that and has access to her full feminine force, she is fucking unstoppable. Like, again, like you can feel this energy moving through me. Like, this is partly just me. I've partly also had a bit of caffeine before. No, it's really because I've done the work to train my voice to speak to you with more leadership and things like that. My integrated masculine, all the things I'm talking about, that's what's allowed me to just sit here and tell it like it is, and tell it with there's less of that soft feminine, and it's more of an integrated balance of, okay, here is the feminine force, here is the leadership. This is the position energetically that women are meant to lead from. You can heal from your soft feminine, and you can do amazing transmutation and alchemy from your dark feminine. When you have an integration of both of these, your full feminine force and pathways are activated online. That is when you become more of a, my guides are giving me a word here. What's the word? Like equalized or equilibrium of energies enough to be a temple and to run that temple pathway which is what makes a leader, right? In terms of the feminine, that's what makes a priestess or a leader that's got the codes to meet everything that is required as a leader or in a leadership position. So that's kind of the goal that we have. And then as you develop that, you become more embodied in your whole self, and then you can live your purpose more fully, and you will naturally enact. Again, if you've integrated your masculine, you're going to take more actions in the world. Things are going to be more physicalized. Your dreams are not just going to be a dream in your brain. You need your integrated masculine to take appropriate action and to then live it out and build it physically in the world. That's what the masculine is good at, is taking those steps. So that is what we're going for, okay? And when you have this integrated and you have this going on, you are a force to be reckoned with. And what I'm saying is that people can feel it. People can feel it. And that's what I noticed in my journey in the last while, is that people start to react to you differently. People start to, all the way from like admiration that for just you existing, and you're not done anything for them, but you just existing. Admiration that becomes stronger and more, I guess, even healthy admiration, all the way to like the opposite. So really being negative towards you and stuff like that, because your light reveals their sickness. People will feel sick around you, like spiritually sick around you, because your light is activating so much of them. And you become very powerful in your feminine truth. And so this is where I want to go into a little bit of story time here. So what I said earlier, again, you can read the details on Substack. I'm not going to go hugely into it. Oh my gosh, it's 444 on my clock, and it was 333 when I started setting up and stuff. So, oh my gosh, so cool. So, okay, I'm leaving things out and being careful here to honor people's privacy and stuff, but I had experiences where somebody I knew was not available to hold the truth that I could sense and feel. And I've been on like a whole journey with that, because it basically triggered like a lot of my priestess awakenings, the things that I've described that need to be done. One of the biggest ways that I've accessed that, and you access your next level through your triggers, right? Through alchemizing them. My biggest triggers and stuff have been in this situation with this person who I came into a different level of my feminine truth, and I came into realizing and having more psychic visions and things, and I attempted to share them with somebody that at the time may not have been ready to receive it. And I hadn't healed all the things within me that needed to be stabilized and all of that for that to even be done in a healthy way. And it was all meant to be, because it created so much powerful healing for me that I wouldn't have had access to otherwise. So I'm so grateful for that experience. But essentially, I know things, and I knew things about our connection and about like me and all these things that were so absolute truth. And it's been such a thing of like healing all the things of oppression on me, because I had outside things telling me that it was wrong, and like that it was not okay, like it was bad and I shouldn't, and also like that it was just wrong information. And it's been such a journey of reclaiming that self-trust, and to keep coming back to the fact that like, no, this was the truth. This is the alchemy. This is what's going on here. And I know this, and there's no external anything telling me like, oh yeah, you're on the right track. And like, that's, you're spot on. Nothing external circumstances was saying the opposite. However, I had the initiations that I had inside of me where I know exactly what that was and exactly what was going on. And I shared it because basically my voice, the freedom of my voice, was being challenged through the experience, and not personal to this person at all. It was the situation. It wasn't that person at all. They were fine, but it was the situation and what it triggered inside of me, which was old woundings of persecution and being not allowed to be free and not allowed to speak my freedom, speak freely, speak my truth, have my voice, all of those things, and be able to show people my psychic world, which is so much of who I am. If you're in any kind of close, intimate relationship with me, I have to be able to share that world with the other people. It doesn't mean that I tell people absolutely everything, like all the details that their spirit guides are saying about them or the things that I see, but just my personal journey has to be allowed to be expressed, because we all deserve that in relationships. And it wasn't able to be expressed in that situation. And so it was deeply painful to remove myself from that and then go through all of these initiations of, okay, like the external circumstance is saying the opposite, but I know in my temple and in my heart and in my priestesshood of who I am, what truth is real here. Also, I just saw 4404 on my timer as well. So cool. So I always see 444s when talking about feminine truth. So yeah, I had to come into that as well. And then meanwhile, I was having like the unhelpful or lower energy men and things like being obsessed over me, and all of it was making me feel so unsafe. I've had history with feeling unsafe, and I had to basically find a whole new level of power in my inner masculine and protect myself. And I learned to do that. And through all of that, I also deepened and found a huge level of self-love, a huge initiation into unconditional love for myself, which you are challenged to enrich and deep when you're in the face of other people not loving you, right? You are challenged to be the one that holds your hand, to the one who sees you, who understands you, the one who hears you, even if other people are making you feel, or assisting you to feel, I should say, misunderstood, or the circumstances doing that. You have every right to develop that relationship inside yourself. And basically, I went on a whole journey of reclaiming myself and reclaiming my priestess gifts on a whole new level, and also loving myself and knowing that I am the love of my life, and I am complete and whole, and you are complete and whole. And this is the journey that we're all trying to get to the side of the conversation about the feminine, is that everything you're going through in your life and integrating your feminine or integrating your masculine, you're trying to come into full wholeness of who you are and completeness of who you are, with or without other people in your journey. And that allows you to come into joy, which allows you to fulfill your purpose, because your purpose is your joy. Your purpose is the joy that you feel, the fulfillment and contentment, those episodes of joy that you feel when you're doing the thing that you love. Your purpose is the thing that you would do every day, no matter what, and you do it and you're like, this is all I need. And that's your purpose. So I went through all of that, and it was so challenging, you guys. Like, I went through periods of being isolated and all of that. And again, Spirit told me that often a priestess will go through periods of isolation, or that her truth is just her own, because she is being initiated to walk with God and to develop and deepen your relationship with God. So all of this to say that as a woman, you have a powerful energy inside of you. And when you truly recognize that by healing your woundings around oppression, being seen, safety, valuing yourself, cherishing yourself as that energy that you are, loving yourself for yourself, for, you know, owning and reclaiming your voice and your truth, your voice and your truth, which are the same thing essentially. Your psychic intuition, again, is your truth. When you reclaim all of those things, you now have something that you need to protect. You have something that is very valuable in the world, and you need to learn how to protect that. And that can look like all the way from different psychic skills and abilities, and training on shielding and things like that, to also in your life and in your day-to-day life, really assess who is in your life. Really assess what kind of energy are they bringing into your life. Do they make you more, and do they make you more vibrant when you're around them? Do you feel like they doubt you? Do they doubt your truth or invalidate you? Do they really meet your needs? Do they honor the temple that you are, or the holy goddess essence that you are? Do they respect you? A lot of this is to do with your relationships, your environment. Have you made your environment a temple home for the goddess that you are? All of those things. You must devote to yourself this commitment to honor yourself. Then naturally you will have it in relationships as well, which is great. But the biggest thing here is to really see and feel and protect your feminine energy, because we are all being called. We are deeply called at this time to come into our full feminine force, which again, as I said, is the embodiment of that capacity for leadership. Doesn't mean you have to be a external for other people, priestess or temple. You don't have to run a temple. It just means self-leadership over yourself and stepping into your purpose, whatever it may be. You are here to live that fully, to express that fully. And the way that you as a woman are going to do that is by healing enough that you come into your full feminine force. And then the amazing thing that's happening, you guys, is anchoring that into this period of ascension where Mother Earth is coming into her full feminine power as well. This is partly why we see more earth changes and more environmental disasters and stuff like that. They're probably going to do another video on that, because that stuff's getting really intense, you guys. But remembering that the earth is a feminine being, and when women come into their feminine embodiment and leadership, you actually act as an anchor point for her to deepen in her ascension journey as well. You must come into this inside of yourself. So that's what I want to say about that. If you're a man watching this, thank you for watching, and I hope that you're watching because you want to understand what the feminine is and you want to revere and respect it. And you can also take some aspects and notes of this for your own feminine energy as well. Our feminine energy for all of us is the vulnerable emotional self as well that needs to be protected and stabilized. So as you know, my name is Beck Sahasrara. I am a feminine empowerment mentor, a feminine leadership mentor. I am a speaker, a psychic channel. And if you are interested in stepping into your full feminine force, please reach out to me by DMing me on Instagram at the Beck Sahasrara. It'll be linked below as well. And we can chat options in terms of mentorship or even just single session. I have a few unique activating offers with that as well if you want to give it a go. All the way to really deep containers to fully get you in that power, because you absolutely deserve it.